Hello guys, it's Chalmers. Today we're doing a Bottleman discussion. So, this discussion is somewhat of a follow-up to my Bottleman God Cap ranking video, which I did a while back. So you don't really need to watch that to understand what's going on here, so I just wanted to kind of refer back to this hidden gem of sorts, which was a recolor, which is why I left it off of the list, but had it been on the list, I probably would have put it at number 2. So yeah, I think this is a very good Bottleman. So what is it? And I probably already have it in the thumbnail or something, but yeah. Anyway, that Bottleman is Dragurt G Big Rush version. So this was a Bottleman released in Random Collection Volume 4, along with Bottle So-Rebo G and Bottle Co-Rebo G. Kind of the extra recolor in there. But I actually think it was very, very good, and I think it's somewhat underrated, actually. Yeah, the only downside of this thing will probably like the feet. So if you have like better feet, maybe swap them out, especially like Kokoribo feet. But yeah, because just from like the trigger and magazine, it does like fall back a little bit. If you're shooting it, you can kind of like hold it, but like it's a little bit unstable. So if you want to swap out the feet, fair enough. But I think with what this thing's doing, that's not like the biggest deal. Aside from that, the arms are just kind of there. They don't really help or hurt anything, which is perfectly fine. Again, if you want to swap them out for something else, go for it, but it's fine. Head is fine. The core, that is what we're focused on here. Now, this is technically the same core as Cola OG, so you could just argue, well, why not just get that and go with it, which is fair. But the reason why I kind of made this thing into a bigger deal than it is because, well, with Cola OG, that is a fairly expensive Bottleman. I mean, it's pretty hard to get this one. While it is a random collection Bottleman, it's easier to get. It's generally not that expensive, actually. So, I just feel like it's an easier Bottleman to get. And also, technically speaking, and based on like the tier lists and how I did the ranking videos, I made everything stock, and well, yeah, maybe swap out like the feet of this thing. It's still really good, just kind of in its stock form. And I'd argue it's better than Cola OG, because Cola OG just kind of has this awkward thing where to like aim it down and whatever, like tilt it. Yeah, I don't really care for that. Or just shoot over the targets, or just have higher targets, but yeah. This thing is just kind of on the ground like a normal core, but it actually just has a built-in magazine. And unlike, of course, the regular Dragurt G, you can load from the back, which is very helpful, because loading at big caps from the front wasn't great. This makes much more sense, I feel. So, the only other downside is that it only comes with 2 caps, so you will need to get a third from somewhere else. That actually does kind of suck, but yeah, if you buy like Dragurt G, or even like the big cap, like pack, which is only a couple of dollars, I'd recommend getting that with this thing, which again, shouldn't be too bad, especially if you're already like importing this. But, that'll give you 3 big cap rings, 3 caps, 3 cap weights. You have all of the customization for a big cap that you could possibly want, which is very, very helpful. But yeah, putting all these in, first 3 cap capacity, they all fit nicely in there. And now you have a big cap core that you can shoot, which is kind of great. And I just knocked the sticker off. I will fix that later. Anyway, put that over there for now, but yeah. So now you have this thing with, which again, 3 shots for a big cap Bottleman. Now, are big caps good? I think it's a bit debatable. I know the power on them sometimes isn't as great. Part of that's due to the hold parts. They're a little bit bland. But I do think that even if the power itself is somewhat lacking, these caps are just big. And because that, if there's multiple targets, it can just knock them over. And they do pretty well. And I think especially if you have like a cap inside of these, and again, if you get that big caps like pack, you have 3 of them like that, and also the weights. If you have the weight inside as well, it's like a bowling ball effectively, so even though it might be kind of slow and might not seem that strong, it has so much weight that it will just shred targets, which is great. So yeah, this thing is actually kind of crazy, I feel. Now, is this like the best Bottleman ever? No. I actually think some DX Bottleman overall are kind of better. in a lot of ways than Godcat Bottleman, even though technically like something like Kokiri OG should be like the best Bottleman. Because of the Godcat issues, I'm not sure I'd say that. But yeah, if you just take the stock versions, I'd say some DX stuff might be better. But regardless, this thing is still, I would say, really good. And also because it has the big cap and stuff, I feel like the Godcap issues are less problematic in my eyes. And also it's kind of a unique setup, so we don't really have a point of reference from what a DX quality big cap Bottleman would feel like, so I guess that's also kind of helpful. But yeah, this thing overall, it's just a really, really nice Bottleman to have. And again, I think it's, if I were to compare it to the rest of the Godcat Bottleman, I'd say the only thing I'd put above it is Kokiri OG, because that just does whatever it wants, except for big caps, I guess, but still. That thing just has a lot going on. This thing, I mean, 3 cap capacity with big caps, that's pretty impressive. And again, you don't need to buy something like Cola OG. And yeah, just stock, it's great, but also if you want to amplify it a bit more, again, maybe swap out the feet, because if you have like Kokoro feet, yeah, this thing gets more stability. Great. If you want to, I don't know, add like arrow sighter arms for a grip or something, again, great. You can do that. Hell, even like Kerpep's arms, if you want like the weird handles coming out from the back. I mean, it's kind of a larger core, so I wouldn't be surprised if people wanted that. But yeah, again, you can customize this thing a lot. But again, if we get customizations, then I think DX and Godcap together would be interesting with some of the setups you can have. But yeah, or just DX, but it is what it is. But yeah, even with customizations, I think this thing still provides something fairly unique, which is nice to see. Again, I think in terms of big caps, kind of this smaller scale setup in terms of like being good is the play. I don't think Cola OG is really as good. Now, if you have Cola OG, you can kind of ignore this thing. Just customize Cola OG with some other stuff you have, assuming you have it. But yeah, just wanted to point this out. Make a little video about it. Not a very long video, but yeah, just say that yeah, this core and kind of a standard Bottleman setup, very much worth checking out. So yeah, anyway. That's all for this video, just kind of a quick one on this thing. So yeah, that's all. So if you have a big cap core, whether it be from this or Cola OG, try using it in kind of a more standard setup. It's actually pretty solid. Experiment with the caps, whether or not you have like cap inside the rings or weights and whatnot, but yeah. There's definitely some fun to be had there. So anyways, that's all for this video, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.